Hello, everybody. We got a lot of people in the chat room tonight, I see. We are waiting on Lou to come in, and we can get started. Hello, John Day from Canada. We are going to get Graveyard Carz on right now. I'm going to invite them in. Hello.
What are you watching?
How you doing out there?
All right, how you doing?
You gotta get in here.
Doing good. Got little Willie Santiago over here. Got young Lisa.
Hello. How's everybody tonight?
We're all doing great. You guys can't hear it, right? Do you want? We're doing a couple of technical things here. Stand by just 1 second. What if you just unplug me? I'll try to see if I'm here. Okay.
We're waiting on Lou. He's always late.
Need to get you in.
Okay.
So,
Do we want to turn that? Well, if you do, you'll lose me, right? So we can't really do that.
See if that works.
So you're just gonna have to get in as close as you
yeah,
can.
so why don't you come behind us, listen?
Right in between.
Is that playing out? Not seeing anything.
I'm not hearing anything. You guys still hear us? Okay.
Yeah, we hear you fine.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Great. Now we got speakers. Okay. I don't need these then.
We're not having any feedback issues.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we'll just go off speakers. It's our first run at this, so
Yeah,
yeah.
us too. No.
Where are you guys out of? Where are you at?
I'm out of Ohio, and the other guy on the screen is Ray from Motormouth Radio. You know him pretty good, don't you?
Ray. Look at the shirt. Look at the shirt Ray got on. Ray got some taste. Look at that. Yeah, give it a face.
Hey,
Yeah.
free shirt, man. I'm gonna wear it. And I wear it proud.
I love it, man. How you doing?
Very good. It's good to finally see you face to face.
You too. Yeah, I was just on your show a couple weeks ago.
Actually, yeah, December 3rd. I have the rundown. We can go through it later if people want to catch the interviews. Because I was telling these guys, I'm like, Mark comes off like he's like a badass, but he's a pussycat. He's a badass pussycat. So, yeah, if you can put the two together, Yeah,
This is retired more men than Social Security.
Yeah.
That's right.
Rocky 3.
Okay, you guys can hear us pretty good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves, and I'll start it out. And I don't know where Lou is. He's probably getting coffee. But my name is Lewis Lee for everybody in Facebook land, which we should be going live in any minute now there. But Lewis Lee from All Ends Magazine, and this is Plan and Traffic. And this show is brought to you by Radiance LED Lights out of Oregon. And they sponsored the show tonight.
That's those guys.
Card.
Oregon.
Oregon.
Whatever.
And our special guest, go ahead and tell us who you are and where you're from.
Mark Worman here from Graveyard Carz, creator of the show, CEO of both companies that run it. Not important.
I'm Alyssa, his daughter.
Alyssa.
And I'm Will Scott, the painter here at Graveyard Carz, the #1 painter.
Number one, that's right. Let me I got Lou, he's jumping in now. Go ahead, Ray, tell him who you are.
And I'm Ray Guarino, host of Motormouth Radio out here in New York and the radio affiliate of Plane and Traffic. And Alyssa, I got to say, as a father of 2 daughters, I give you a lot of credit. A lot of credit. Yeah. Come on, Mark. You got to give us some credit.
Well, no, it's all good. I just wonder why all she got to have the credit. Hey, Lou.
Well, you get a lot of credit, too, just in a different way.
Well, you know what? She gets the credit because she met us out at SEMA and she set all this up. So it's because of her that you're on the show.
There you go.
I see. Well, then she does deserve a little bit of credit. I like it.
That's right.
What's happening with Lou? Is he having a fever? What the hell is wrong with him?
Lou, what's up with your voice? Your voice is like Like a cartoon.
Mickey Mouse, man.
That's cool.
Little chipmunk, little album.
We never know what's going to happen here on Thursday night, Mark. You know, it's a veritable cacophony of just, you know,
Your hair looks fine.
technical stuff and you know, failures, and we get through
Yeah,
it.
real life.
Yeah.
Real life.
Is that better?
Yes.
It's all good.
See?
Hey,
It is
how you doing, Lou?
What's up?
How are you?
I'm still above ground. I have no justifiable complaints. You know,
Good deal.
doing what
sir.
I do, keeping it
Yeah.
between the lines.
Is that your Christmas lights in the background?
Yes, they won't get taken down till this weekend because nobody's home during the day. It's the tree.
Good. I like it. Beautiful.
We gotta wait till the weekend.
Beautiful. Love it.
So yeah,
Nice. Glad you could join us. How come you were late? Just curious.
because I'm always late.
Always.
Okay. So he was telling the truth.
I am technologically challenged when it comes to doing this kind of stuff. So it takes me 3 or 4 times to get in, and yeah,
You're
it's
pacing
just
yourself.
the way it is. It's one of those things, man.
So, Lou, tell them who you are on Facebook Live, so we know, who you are.
Lou Santiago, one of the hosts for Playing in Traffic, also hosts Car Fix on Velocity, and Troublemaker. That's what I do.
Keeps it real.
Keeping it real.
You met
I
Tom Partridge.
I have a PhD in KIR. Keeping it real.
I like it.
You can put it on your card. That's what I'm doing on my next batch of business cards. I had it was last year, I think it was. My doctor calls me up. She's like, Miss Santiago, I had no idea that you had a PhD because I sent her an email. It's in my email signature. She's like, I had no idea. I'm gonna have to step my game up. And she goes, if you don't mind me asking, what's in? I said, keeping it real.
Where do I sign up for that?
and it was funny because she's a black lady, and she goes, and I get, oh no, you did not. And I said, I bet you I got a neck roll in there too, didn't I? She's like, I'm leaving now, and she hung up.
You're a lot of fun, Lou. Hey, Lou, did you meet Tom Partridge one time? The guy with the red Daytona. Somehow he had a connection with you.
Yes, I met him.
Looks like
I
a
actually
big toe with hair.
Alden Car Club at the Alden Car Show up in New York.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's a nice guy. He's a pain in the ass, but he's a nice guy.
You said it. I didn't.
Sounds like the rest of us.
All right.
Yeah, there's a show that they do up there every year. They've been doing it 13 years, I think. It benefits Mercy Flight. Mercy Flight is the last helicopter group that that takes people that are wounded, not wounded, but broken in like Life Flight. Yeah, they're the last one that's not affiliated with Life Flight, and they put it on because the guy who puts it on, Vinny, who's a super nice guy, he was actually Life Flighted out by them. So his way of giving back was to create this show called it was actually in Marilla, but then they moved it to Alden. But it's the Alden Car, Truck, and Bike Show. And it's a one-day show. And Mark, they probably get 1,500 to 2,000 cars for a one-day show.
Takes over the town. Takes over the whole town.
They shut down the street, man.
What town is it in?
It's in Alden, New York. It's up by Buffalo.
John Day just said 1,500 to 2,000. He's got a zero missing.
1,500 to 2,000.
Yeah,
that's what they usually. That's
okay.
They usually get that much. You've
been drinking.
The car count has been down a little bit since they moved from Marilla, but they still get a bunch of cars, and every year since they've been in Marilla 4 years, I think it is, and it goes up every year. So it's getting back to where it should be. Yeah,
nice.
But it's a great show.
Yeah, Ray's got my shirt on. Sure he does.
You read that comment over there.
What comment? Somebody saying something?
Patrick.
What Patrick say?
Yeah, we have the chat room on the side there.
If you can read what Patrick wrote.
Your paint tour paint jobs look like glass.
What the hell's a paint tour paint job?
Yeah, but you got the glass
your
part
paint
there.
Tour paint job is the best too, Will.
Just want to point.
I like how Mark puts his glass, like he put them on, like he's
I can't see it.
No, it's just the way he put, like the way he held. Did you see how he held? Like they're not going to stay on his head.
There,
There you go.
That was like the old man move.
I can go home and get this. I don't have to stay here.
All right.
I bet you when he doesn't have his glasses on, he does this.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great guy next time. Just gonna throw him up and let it fall on my face. Cool birdies, man.
Okay, so let's leave Mark alone. Mark, what are you building now in the shop? What do you got going on in the shop?
Well, I think we have 24 cars in progress right now.
Holy shit!
And those are the ones that have been disassembled. Some of them are waiting to go out to the metal dipper, get cleaned. Some of them have come back and have got epoxy on them and are waiting to go through the shop. And then the other ones are in the shop. The cars that are in the shop right now, we've got a 69 GTX that's a Q5 Seafoam turquoise car. The guy's father bought it brand new.
Wow.
And so we're just finished, and that's a beautiful car, all numbers. We got a 68 Charger RT, numbers matching, green car. It's a real pretty one going together. 70 Challenger, got a lot of green. Got a 70 Challenger FF4 RT. We've got a 69.5 Super B 446 spec 4-speed car. 2 or 3 Cudas down in the metal. 2 Cudas down in the metal shop, and Challenger RT. And the beautiful, rare, one of only 2 ever made, 1970 Dodge Coronet RT convertibles.
Wow.
It's a factory 426 Hemi 4-speed convertible. They made 2. This is the only one in existence. So it's a beautiful car. Will just did a fairly decent paint job on it.
Fairly decent.
Yeah, that's in contrast to the car we saw last night. Which
Are there any flow indicators on it? What's important? Are there any flow indicators on it?
Oh, jeez. Well, the name of the paint, that we spray is PPG, and the base coat is DMD. So I just call them Run DMD.
Anytime you want to come out there,
oh,
you're
yeah.
more than well.
I've been out there for 30 years. That's why my hand no longer moves outside of this position right here. I done my time, man. Ray, what were you going to say about it?
Yeah, I was going to say, Ray, talk.
On last night's episode, we saw one of 8 Challenger, a 343 speed car.
Oh, it was a Challenger?
Yes. Or was it the Cuda?
Did they change it?
You might have. Yeah.
We have one of 8 71 Cuda.
I knew it was an e-body. Yes, that's right. There's been a lot of snow between.
Damn it, Ray, pay attention.
Oh, yeah, that's what he gets. Damn it, Ray, pay attention. You're telling me, Mr. Magoo, because I put my glasses.
Oh, you haven't heard the half of what I've been called.
Yeah, I'm probably better off not, my friend. Yeah, it was a 1971 Cuda 343 speed car, right. Purple with white. Neat car, really kind of wild, cool car. And yeah, it's just now going through and getting the metal work done on it. Since then, it's moved into the shop and getting all the metal work. They don't make convertible quarter panels. They make the full ones that go all the way up to sail panel. And so what we have to do is modify it. Mm-hmm. If it was back in the day, we could just order one from Chrysler, but now we have to modify a hardtop style. But we're on it. It's going.
So now what's the lag between when that sequence was filmed and we just saw it last night? What's how far behind are we?
Oh, boy. Is Velocity watching?
No, don't worry about it. Screw them. Don't worry about it.
We got this handled.
Say whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter. Facebook doesn't care.
There's nobody watching.
Don't worry about it. Fuck them.
F word. Somebody said the F word.
You drop that bomb if you want.
I'm telling you.
Throw a quarter.
That's all Tom Partridge did the entire time he was out here, because he's from New York. He wanted to make sure we knew he was from New York, so he'd cut people off in traffic and go, "Fucking New York." What does that mean? You're gonna get us killed.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I guess that's the rite of passage. You can do anything if you scream "F" in New York at the same time. So I didn't know that. Anyway.
Okay. Oh, wait. Before we deviate from that, have you ever seen the movie My Blue Heaven?
Yeah.
It was made in the late 80s, probably with Steve Martin.
Oh my God, Mark, come on.
Dude, Mark, you got to get it. It's
My
Steve
Blue,
Martin.
I don't think I've even heard of it.
Great movie.
It is
Steve
fantastic.
Martin Short is supposed to be the FBI agent,
Brilliant
and
genius.
Steve Martin is supposed to be a gangster who flipped, and he's in the witness protection program, right? And they dump him in this little town. It's actually San Diego, but they dump him in this little town. And my favorite scene is when he's in the shark skin suit, dressed to the nines in the supermarket, and he's pushing the buggy, and people are walking by going, "Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going?" And every time they walk by and go, "Hey, how's it going?" He says, "Hey, fuck you."
You see, now I like the line. He's in the frozen food aisle, and there's the hot-looking woman. Who's
Yeah.
And he walks up and says, "Hey, you could melt all this stuff."
Trying his best New York thing, right?
Oh.
That's great.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. It'll
I like
explain
it.
so much. It'll explain so much to you. It'll make sense after that.
I'll do it. My Blue Heaven. You got it, buddy.
Well, because
Okay, so Ray, ask your car questions.
Well, I was going to say we saw the video collection, Mark, that you got for Christmas from Alyssa. That's some heavy watching you got there, you know. But My Blue Heaven, I think, will round that out very nicely.
They're serial killer movies. How is that going to round it out?
Well, even it out? I don't know.
Ray, you need help, my friend. A doctor, a priest, something.
Both. Send them both. I'm not above any of it, man. I'll take whatever I can get. I could
represent. See that? Ray got my shirt. Yeah.
Let me jump in.
That's because
we have a couple things down at the bottom of the screen. If everybody takes a look, we have questions and answers, and we have a poll.
There we go.
So everybody in Facebook land.
Whoa, Tori, what's up? Hi, Mark. You're a mega superstar.
See,
what was your first Mopar?
Well, there was no super in there. It was just Mega Star. So
yeah, Mega Star.
Mopar Mega Star. Yeah, no super.
I'm actually. You got a problem with that?
Yeah. We got to have it right. It's semantics. It's semantics. We got to have it right. Luke keeps records on this stuff. Come on, and he beats
First
me up.
Mopar was a 1970 Dodge Charger, 383 L code, automatic, burnt orange with white top, burnt orange interior. My favorite happens to be a 70 Charger. I'd like to have the same one in the same color, but a 444 speed car.
Damn it, man.
Yeah.
Well, we got you that for Father's Day.
Yeah, it's 3 inches long, like your.
Yeah. That could happen like the wave.
Not used to live TV.
This isn't live TV though, so it's okay. And we don't edit.
I get that.
So listen, everybody in the chat room and on Facebook, if you look down at the bottom, we have questions and answers that you can ask us questions. You can donate if you feel free to donate $1 or
donate whatever.
Because this stuff ain't free. And check out our sponsor, Radiance LED Lights. If you click on the call to action, you can go to their website and check out their lights. They putting together some hot stuff. They did all my lights for my motorcycle.
Ray, show him.
For Ray. Yeah, Ray got it right next to him.
The light next to me. I'll show you what they did for me, though.
But they're putting down some good stuff. They do custom work. They do lights for houses, cars, motorcycles, whatever you got.
Anything you want.
Yep.
The Northeast Ohio, Northeast Ohio Dukes, they want to come out and do a real jump out here with one of their General Lees. They just did it at the Chicago, I think it was the Chicago show.
Really?
Detroit. Were you there, Lou, when they jumped that General Lee?
I wasn't.
So
I heard about it, but I didn't even know where it was. I just heard that someone had jumped one. I didn't know where.
Those guys are here. Those guys are here in Youngstown with me.
Like that out. That'd be fun.
Yeah, so they're good guys. They're here in Youngstown, where I'm from. They're my hometown guys.
Oh, they are? Oh,
okay.
How come Jim's throwing a pair of his underwear at me, man? Panties, man, panties.
Mark, Mitch from Radiance had put together some LED conversions for my GTO to taillights, and he originally was going to do 80 lights, and then he ended up with 800. This is the LED board that he put together.
It changed.
It sure did.
Oh boy, do you don't want that picture going out?
I'll get it back.
The hell was that?
That's the board with a ruler for scale. It's like 7 inches long by about 2.5, 3 inches high.
All LEDs.
And that's it lit.
Oh, that is cool.
It's
That
like
is
a freaking laser beam.
Yeah.
No,
he's
they're-
up by your, he's up in your
He's
neck
up
of
by
the woods,
you.
Mark.
Mitch is in. He's in Oregon.
He's in Wait a minute. He's in Brooklyn. No, wait.
No, not Brooklyn.
Brookings, Oregon.
Oh, we're down on the coast. Yeah.
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 He
Oh,
does.
that's cool, man.
I met him a few years ago at SEMA, and it was when they brought back the Challenger. He had one, and he had more damn LED lights on it. He had them where they would go to the music. They would change. I mean, he can make him do all kinds of crazy stuff.
I'll have
And
to hook up with him.
yeah,
That's
you need to.
Yeah.
You need
He
to.
was saying that he wanted to come up to your shop, so he's not too far from you.
Super nice guy. Super nice guy, and he can.
Have his people contact my people.
Yep.
Yeah,
People.
we can do that.
We got
We can
you.
do that.
There is no
Me.
people.
Our people will get his people to contact your people.
Tell you what I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's
do.
a Hollywood thing.
I think I have.
There's always people, Mark. You know, a guy just asked me the other day about something. He says, "You got a guy, right?" I'm like, "Of course I got a guy. Everybody's got a guy." We all got
Everybody's
guys.
got a
I
guy.
said, "If I don't got a guy, I got a guy who knows a guy." And then
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
It's a New York thing. I got a guy.
sometimes it's a lady. You never know.
All right, we need to get some info from Melissa. Now, I've noticed that you were doing some sanding and you messed up your nails. So tell us about what you were working on.
Yeah, so I just started working with Will. I guess I'm a painter's helper.
Yeah.
So I've been coming in early at 7, and he's been showing me how to prep the inside of cars. So
Wow.
I messed up my manicure, but that's okay. I've actually rounded off all the corners on my right hand.
Oh, nice. Alyssa,
You guys probably don't care, but
whoever did your Christmas makeup, another one gets high marks. That was some really nice makeup.
That was
Yeah,
cool.
it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, that was fantastic. Yeah, very nice.
Now, did you guys have a party or what?
Sorry.
No.
we have a party.
Every day's a party here, pal. Every day.
Hey,
No, it
Alyssa.
was-
Alyssa, check your phone. You just got information.
Radiance LED light.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Done.
Done.
Mitch Valentine.
Yeah, Mitch.
She's got it all. She got it all. Email, everything, address, all of it.
Thank
She got it
you.
all.
Whoa.
Generally restoration.
Tori loved the General Lee restoration. The Chevelle and Camaro collector. He learned something. Okay, yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He liked when you put the car in the front clip, made it. No, it wasn't on the General Lee. That was on the Superbird.
Oh,
The
so this guy.
Aspen.
Hey, Lou, do you remember these cars that Mike Finelli's talking about, or Mike Finell? You remember?
Yeah, the Aspen.
After the big horsepower thing was all over, they kind of went to these little package cars like that.
Yeah. Yep, I remember
He's
that.
got one that's the original Richard Petty, the Aspen Street Kit.
Wow.
I think that's a great
Oh,
little car.
okay.
I'd love to do one of those sometime. I think that'd be fun. They're not fast. I think they're 360 in them.
Yeah, they're not fast at all.
He wants
they're
them to make
fun.
aftermarket body panels and other repro stuff.
Yeah.
Do they? They do,
Yeah.
huh? Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
you
I
ask
remember
them. I
the
don't think
Volare.
there's a lot of stuff made for those cars. No, I think you'd have to find
There's
a pretty
not.
good car. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be in trouble. But yeah, that's cool.
Been under a tarp for 20 years.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need to see pictures
What's
of
going
it.
on over there?
Yeah, I remember that. The Volare, the Aspen, and
It's
it was
a
they made
Valore.
a wagon too, didn't they?
So back then, well, the Magnum was a bigger car. That was a cool car. That was like the Charger. So it kind of looked like
Right.
the 77 Charger.
Mhm.
The one Ricardo Montalban talked about, all the leather. in.
Cordova.
Yeah,
Cordova. Rich Corinthian leather.
He was a cool cat, man. That was a great ad gag. I loved
It
it.
was.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess Mike's saying he's got two of those cars. Well, give us one, Mike. Give Lou one. Give me one. Let's see
You
what
know,
else we
Mark,
got
a couple
going
weeks ago, it came up on the board. We spied in the back of one of the shots in your shop a Camaro on the lift.
It's
People were asking us
What
about
is-
that. So, what's with the Camaro in March? I don't know. We'll ask them.
Well, it's not sacrilege.
No,
I mean,
I
it's
know. Hey, I don't care.
Okay, look, a
It should-
very good friend, a sweetheart of a guy that we were doing his cars, a couple of cars now, asked me as a favor to do some work on the car, and that's why it was here. So basically, we did the body and the paint work on it, and it came out beautiful. It's back home now. He's happy, and I'm happier. Yeah, it's amazing. You could have any. It's like a big shiny turd back there because
Yeah.
all they do is they just ride in constantly. What's the deal?
Right.
What's the deal? You're flipping over. You're flipping. You're flipping. You're flipping. Yeah, I've been doing Mopar my whole life, but I've decided I'm going to go into the 75 Camaro line.
Right. One car at a time. Just one car at a time.
And you start with 75. That's the key.
Yeah, of all of them, the 75. That's a gem.
Yeah, I guess it's just because you're so Mopar centric, and we know that's what we know you for. That people, it jumps out at them. So
Tori wants to know who was your mentor.
My mentor?
Yeah, not mine.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, it doesn't have you smart ass. It doesn't have an address on it.
no, we know who he's talking to.
Yeah, we know who he's talking to.
In the automotive world, I didn't have a mentor. I'm kind of self-taught.
Well, your dad died young.
My father passed away when I was very young. You think that's funny? Huh? My grandpa died 9 months before that. You want to talk about that too?
Oh,
And now it gets ugly.
Old, man.
now kids.
Don't make me stop this car.
Turn this bus around and ruin your precious field. I would say my mother was my mentor. She's the one that raised me to work hard, do the right thing, and
The crayons.
Yeah. Well, it was a tough girl. What'd they say?
He just
Let's
told
talk
me
about-
over only having
talk
6.
about
Oh
Will and
yeah,
the
I
crayons.
had 8 crayons.
Oh, 8.
Well, Lou. How old are you, Lou? How
I'm
old are you?
54.
60?
54.
Yeah. What are you?
Yeah, 54.
5.
5'4".
How many crayons you have in first grade, buddy? You have that big 64 pack with the sharpener on the back, probably. Mommy and Daddy give you that. I
They
didn't
didn't
have that.
have them back then.
Couldn't afford any.
Oh, they had them. Leo Pareto had them. I was in the same class. I was the only kid that couldn't make chartreuse, which is why I'm colorblind today. You try to make chartreuse out of 8 busted crayons. It is exactly why I'm colorblind.
No, 'cause
He said, "That's it."
I'm going home.
So
What else we
Mark,
got going on over there?
I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm going to be looking for a 66 Monaco.
Oh,
2-door.
wow.
I got
Why?
to build something.
A 66 Monaco?
Yeah. I don't need a drive line. I just need a shell.
Find
Boy, that stopped the room dead.
I noticed.
It was a
I
party
wasn't
here a
expecting
second
that.
ago.
I wasn't expecting that.
Whoa, you just ground it like in reverse, man.
I know, man.
Miles an
I
hour.
did the second gear to reverse shift.
Yeah.
Oh, you did, yeah. You blew out the reverse synchros, man.
Ah.
Nobody wants a 66 Monaco. Nobody wanted them when they were new. That's why there's none left.
I want a 66 Monaco. I'd settle for a 66 two-door Polara. How about that?
That's nice. Yeah.
Probably easier to come up with. Yes. That's probably easier to come up with. Still ugly, but easier to come up with.
Hey, I'm not worried about ugly. It's so
A 4-door or
ugly.
2-door?
It's so up 2-door.
2-door. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll hook you up, buddy. You have your people, get hold of his people. They'll give you my cell phone.
I got Alyssa's
You know,
number. I can just contact Alyssa. She can talk to you, and we're good. I'm not
Send
worried
it to
about it. We're good. But see, here's the thing. I know you don't know this, but I'm going to be doing my own online show called GarageInsiderTV.com. It's going to be shot around Nashville. I got skin in the game, so I've always wanted to do like a Monaco or a Polara 66.
Okay.
And I want to do like not a pro touring car, but that style, but make a really nice cruiser, nice driver, big yacht. I want a land yacht. That's what I want.
That's
I'll
it.
tell you the answer to that is Mopar, that Crate 392 that we put in the CUDA last year,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Hellcat this year. Crate engine, 1 part number, get the engine here, get the controller here, put a nice 727 behind it.
I'm going to put a 5.
Change it out to a Magnum Force rack and pinion. You got everything except the cubic dollar Pro Mod thing.
Right.
Why wouldn't you go that way? It's beautiful. Yeah,
And that's basically what I want to do. I'll build my own chassis online because it's all going to be online. So I'll build my own chassis.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. I'll build my own chassis and I'll do it up.
Is a Monaco?
It looks like a
66?
Polara almost.
Yeah, but it's still it's still a unibody, right? So are you
Yes.
going to hog the bottom out and
yeah.
set it down on the frame?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm too dumb to be scared.
We don't butcher cars out here, so I wouldn't show.
Oh, I
Oh,
do.
boy.
I do.
Yeah,
Don't
you're
feel-
not East Coast.
Not a problem.
Oh, yeah.
No problem at all.
Left, and I'll sleep good at night knowing that I cut it up.
Get you those leather aprons like a good butcher would wear when you
Oh
start
yeah,
cutting off.
yeah.
I like
I'm
it.
that
Yeah.
guy. I'm telling you.
Leatherface. Call you Leatherface.
This show should be called "Cut It Up and Throw It in Traffic" instead
I'm
of
gonna
playing.
wear, you know what? I'll tell you what. For you, when I do it, I'll wear a hockey mask.
I love it. Yeah, that's great. Good, Lou. Thank you.
I'll get the old school white hockey mask for you. I'll put
I
safety
like it.
glasses on the outside. Got to worry about safety. There'll be safety glasses on the outside of the hockey mask.
Perfect. I'm going to hold you to it.
Jason Santiago.
But listen, when you get your show up and going, if you need some ratings or something, to kind of kick it off.
I'll let you know.
Get hold
Gas
of it.
monkey.
I'll let you know. I like him. I like him.
No, you don't call Gas Monkey.
He just shoots him across the bow. You know what I mean?
Whatever.
You're not expecting. Where'd that come from?
You remember Portland wrestling back in the 70s, Jimmy Snuka?
Jimmy
Blinker looks like
Superfly.
Jimmy Snuka over here. I got to deal with that.
Ivan
Yes.
Putski.
That's his wayward son.
Ivan Putski, the
That's
Polish
great.
protagonist. There you go.
Hey, never gonna die.
Hey, Mark, the Northeast Ohio dudes want to know how you feel about them destroying those unrestorable Chargers when they jump them and what the hell are they doing?
Him and I have talked a few. We've talked a few times about that. He gets crap for those cars because people see you jump a Charger and destroy it, right? They don't realize that it was absolute. It wasn't even one car; it was 100 cars that you had some pieces and you bolted it together so that at 100 feet on a camera it looked good. It's like I get crap for that half-cut car that I did that's hanging on the side of our building, a little bit of artwork.
Yeah.
And that was nothing. That was a rusty hull that I had a rusty fender I bolted on it, a door that wouldn't be usable on anything, a quarter that's rotten on the bottom. It was just tacked together. But people think I went out and got this beautiful 69 Hemi Charger and cut it in half and hung it on the wall. They just don't think about, right? They just don't think.
They don't. They don't think about that. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's it, though. Once you're in this arena to the level that you're at, I mean, you're open to all the idiots. It's just air. It's like
Number one
open
Mopar
season.
show on the planet. So.
It's the only one.
Yeah. So
It doesn't matter. That still makes it number one.
competition.
Why don't you start your own Mopar show, Mary?
I'll just run it.
He drives a Volkswagen Bug.
Oh, hey, wait a minute now. What year was the bug?
66.
Oh, you're good.
There you go.
Nice.
Is it slammed?
Yeah.
Is it slammed?
You know
keep
what?
giving him
Yeah,
good
I know.
book. It's fine.
Great question.
You're good.
Is it?
Everything I drive is lowered.
I'll tell you something. I know of another
Nothing
guy
wrong
up
with
in Oregon.
that.
I talked about him on the show. I know another guy up in Oregon who's like the VW guru of slammed bugs. I got to send you his information.
Yeah, I don't need
We
to.
need to get him
No,
on.
not you, but I've been
I'm
trying. I
fine.
did try to get him on. And,
Yeah.
he don't have a camera. He's shy. With any of the other.
Yeah.
I understand. There's hold on.
He's out cutting bugs, so he's busy.
So, Will, we want to hear a little bit from you. How'd you start painting, and what's your favorite? What's your thing?
I graduated in high school in 1997.
Parents bought us diploma.
It's still a diploma.
Well,
Hey,
it's on a
as
piece
long
of
as you
paper.
got it.
I spent the summer of 95 and 96 working for Mark as a detailer. And then when I graduated,
Took them under my wing.
him and my mom were friends. So as a favor to my mother, he gave me a job.
My mother
works.
worked for an insurance company, and I liked having the insurance work come in the collision shop, so I had to put him on.
There you go.
Good
Always
move.
thinking,
Good
always
move.
thinking.
Good move.
Yep.
Good move.
So,
Good move.
Yeah, I started. I was a painter's helper in '97 till I think it was 2000, and we went through 3 or 4 painters, and then he had fired the last one, and then I asked him if I could take over, and he gave me a shot. And I mean, that first couple of years, I do owe him a lot.
Shot at the title.
Anyways,
I remember when Apollo Creed offered that to Rocky. Says, "How would you like to fight for the championship?"
Adrian.
We said more than Adrian. See, that's
And, I know for the first time, that one just another bump.
Oh, this is about.
That is my will.
I apologize. What he does.
So I spent the first couple of years, making mistakes and just kind of working through it. Yeah, it was a lot of mistakes, and I owe him a lot because he stuck with me through all the crap that a lot of people wouldn't. So, and then here we are, 22 years later, and
Nice.
love him to death, and got a great TV show, and he's fun to work for. Kind of a pain in the ass from time to time, but Alyssa and I work through it.
Yeah, because we'll never make
One
a
more
mistake
question.
in the
One
paint
more
shop
question.
anymore.
I don't anymore.
Is your
Go ahead, sir.
Volkswagen painted?
No, of course not.
Right.
Nice.
It's got that old school patina.
Yeah, but
Yeah, see, there we go.
Nice.
Good
That's
looking
cool.
car.
hold that up again with.
Hold on. I'm going to find another one. This is I'm sure you know about Air Cooled Division on Instagram.
I don't know what that means. Is that an air conditioning company?
See, that's
Well, it's got negative camber. Look at the negative camber on those rear wheels.
Oh, yeah.
got no
They have
tread on the
negative
inside
camber
of the
when it's they have negative camber when they're at stock height.
I know, independent rear suspension. They do. They're terrible.
Nice looking
That's
car.
actually kind of a good looking car.
See, I'd like to get a Volkswagen
Way
bus
cooler than yours.
next.
Yes.
They're getting hard to come by.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Chartreuse
Yes.
microbus. Like the song, man. What's that song, Lou?
27
About the dudes
cents.
in the chartreuse
microbus. That's right.
I like the 21 window there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They sell a top for those now where you can cut yours out and put Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
That would make sense because there are hardly any left.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
see that one that Ken did down there? I think
Yeah.
it was a 21 window
Yeah,
or
that was
something.
cool.
Yeah.
Sold for big money.
Yeah.
See, that is way cool.
Yeah, those are kind of cool.
They're hot.
Yeah, those.
Okay, this is the Mopar show. Can we get back to Mopars now?
Hey,
All
whoa,
right,
Is it
we
getting
need
calm
to
down.
talk to Alyssa.
What happened now?
Mark, Tori wants to know what's more difficult, producing the show or acting? Acting. That's funny. Acting.
What's that one?
I said that's funny. Acting. Mark wants, which is more difficult, producing the show or acting? Answer the
Quite like
question.
the epic car fix. Boy, there's-
Okay, what's the question?
Why Lou got to be taking a shot at me? I didn't say nothing about a big Santa Claus beard.
Mark, which is more difficult, producing the show or acting? Tori wants to know. It's a question. I'm not being a jackass. It's a legitimate question.
He's saying that this is your personality. Like,
My lovable personality.
They're both hard. They're both difficult. Okay.
I figured Mark had a stage gig,
The level of my acting where it's very convincing and you can't tell.
That's a.
You can't tell that.
On a serious note, we're one of. No, we take a lot of pride in that. We're one of the few shows. It's not scripted. We come to work and we do this job Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week, and we got the production crew here. So they literally just come out and they start filming. So it's not like you put on some big scene or acting or you got lines to read or you
See,
just
what
come to
I
work.
want to know, is how come Mark didn't say that?
Because he wants to church it up.
That you like that, Lou? You like that, Lou? Yeah. They're going down. They're going down. I've been working out.
no, stop.
Normally, I have a thicker shirt on.
Here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you gotta lick the finger, Lou.
Wait, we can't get rid of that. My eyes.
Can I do the gesture? Can I feed the ducks? No.
No.
Okay, no duck feed.
Hey, listen, what did I tell you?
And you're never having him on my show again.
Yeah.
Ever.
Listen, what did I tell you the other day?
What, me?
Yeah,
Or
Alyssa.
I didn't hear you. I was what? Who are you talking to?
Alyssa.
Oh,
What did
okay.
I tell you the other day about Lou?
I'm sorry, what?
What did I tell you about Lou the other day?
You're right.
What?
My dad on great.
I said you were a nice guy. Okay,
I
Alyssa.
pre-warned you and also apologized for you ahead of time.
Oh, did she do
I
the
did.
upfront apology?
Yeah, and I turned it around and put Lou on it. I was like, yeah, I apologize for Lou too.
Good. Lou, we need to have a form apology letter for the FCC that we can just have sent out before we go online.
I don't even do that. You know why? Because here's how I'm going to handle that. And mind you, I don't have a watch. Yeah. That window just closed. I'm no longer issuing apologies right now. That time is expired. No need.
I like it.
But you got to do the watch. You got to.
Yeah,
that
right.
window just
You got to
closed.
pretend
That
there's a
opportunity
watch
is no
there.
longer existence.
Okay, Alyssa, what are you driving? What's your car?
I drive a 2014 Dodge Charger, and I love it.
Yeah.
That you didn't steal.
Huh?
That you didn't steal.
Exactly. Yeah, legitimately mine. And it's the first nice car I've ever owned. Before, I've just gotten under $1,000 Craigslist finds
No,
Okay.
they're
Gifts
not even
from my dad.
No, Mark goes to the wrecking yard. Somebody throws a set of tires on something, $250,
And then gives it to
and
me
then
for
gives it to her for
Christmas.
Christmas.
And I'm pretty excited. I'm like, cool. It's better than a bus pass. But it squeaks when you go down the road.
I
It's
bought her
really-
a brand new
My
car
front
for her
door would
18th
roll
birthday. She
open when I
wrecked
went
it
around a corner.
because she was
Oh my
fighting with her
gosh,
half-wit
really?
boyfriend.
No, a cat ran out in front of me, and I swerved.
There was no marks. There was no there was no skid marks. There was no swerve marks. There was nothing. It was you and Tuna Boy. She used to go out with a guy.
No,
He went to the gym, and all he did is Tuna. The rest of it looked like a wet noodle, but two big old knots for arms. That's freak shit, man. Nobody wants to see that.
Are we done?
Oh my god!
So I swerved for a cat and hit
Yeah.
a tree and totaled my first car.
That's one way to get rid of it.
Should have hit the cat.
No, don't hit the cat.
Damn pesky new car. Get rid of that.
Hey, Mark,
That's why she was driving the crap box.
Mark,
Yes, sir.
Mike just listed that you're listed as a pro painter on the PPG showcase site, and he put the link up. So he wants to know, so who's the better painter?
That's not even a question.
You should be honest with your life.
It has a
For once
question
in his life, let him be honest. And whatever your answer is, cue that over to you.
Oh, you
Go
can
ahead.
do that over
No,
all
please,
you want.
please.
Yeah, I'm 10 times better than Mark.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't even go out there and. So we filmed this bit a couple months ago. I get the whole car done, and he wants to come in and clear coat the fender. So he comes in there. He's got the gun this close to the fender, slows it down, and literally just runs.
No, I think you're having a moment.
No, that was a
Run shit.
And then who had to fix it?
You're out of your. You've had a seizure. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Somebody call 911.
Yeah, Mark's the man. Yeah. Okay, are you happy now?
I painted a car that won the greatest paint of all time in the history of the world.
I prepped it.
When was this?
I don't know.
Which car?
It was a black one.
I haven't painted for a long time because I got carpal tunnel in both hands.
That's
okay.
That's fine. At one time,
It's
yes,
fine.
you're the man.
Yeah.
Now, no.
No,
Now you're not.
that doesn't work.
It does.
You don't go up to Rocky Balboa and say, "Oh yeah, one time you were a champion, now you're a rebel." She'll knock you out. I'll knock you out.
You can't hold shit with those
You have
wrists.
carpal tunnel.
Yeah, I can hold something with it.
Yeah, not for very long.
God.
So yeah, I'm by far the better painter at this point.
I'm coming for
Well,
it.
if you're the better painter at this point, that means you're going to be the better painter tomorrow, and the next
I'm the
day,
better painter.
and the next day.
Well, Alyssa says she's coming up.
What's that?
I'm coming.
Alyssa says she's coming up.
Dude,
Oh,
this
this is gonna
has
be-
honestly been great. Alyssa has
Oh my God.
What? Did you?
That's why we don't do live.
Anyway, we needed a helper, and Mark had the idea, and Alyssa wanted to do it, come out and work with me. And now that she's out there with me every day, she's prepping the cars. And honestly, by the time SEMA comes around this year, she'll be spraying color. So
Nice.
it's definitely cool to have her out there and
That's
doing
awesome.
good. And she wants to be the better painter, and that's cool. I mean, what more could
Sweet.
you want?
Well, that's one way to get her back into a paint suit instead of calling it like a hazmat suit.
Right, right.
Look for bees in the old cars.
Well, that's the difference. Is, like this season, I mean, she's really just stepped it up and wanted to find her place here at the show.
My genes are finally starting to flush through her system.
No, she's officially just quit listening, and then said, "Hey, where do I fit in here?" And then we had a spot and plugged her right in, and she's doing awesome now.
So, Alyssa, what took you from doing the interior work you were doing with Dave and brought you over to paint? Is it Will? Is he the magnet that drew you over, or was it just
Oh no.
something else?
That camera make my nose look big.
No.
Don't worry, black is very slimming on you.
He's not wearing a burqa.
Well, let's answer the man's question.
Last season I was kind of bouncing around wherever they needed me, and my dad wanted me to get a little bit of experience in each area. But I kind of found that I wasn't picking it up like I wanted to, because I'd spend like a week with Dave, and then I'd spend a week over in the engine department, and then back over to putting in interiors, and I just felt like I wasn't soaking it in. So I want to stick with one thing. And so, I mean, I've been wanting to learn how to paint, but Will hasn't wanted to teach me. So when I asked him for like the 10th time, and he actually said yes, but I have to come in super early.
Well, keep in mind, it's not worth doing unless she's actually committed to learning. Because she always like, I want to come out and do it. Then you see her for like 2 days, and she's gone for a month.
No,
and then you got to start over again.
That is not
so
true.
This time she's actually like, hey, I want to actually learn this. So she's putting the time in. So then it's definitely worth teaching her.
Well, it's a big step up from sorting the nuts and bolts and the various shop hardware. So,
you ever see a seeing eye dog walking a blind person?
I see it all the time.
Fucking New York!
We do it here every Thursday night.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I see it all the time.
How's your show doing out there? How's Carfix? You guys rocking?
Yeah, we start season 7 next week.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, we start season 7, and then we'll go from there. See what happens.
Do you guys film? Somebody said that they were talking to you at Seymour or somebody. Do you shoot all the episodes like in a short period of time? Or like we shoot ours throughout a long period of time, but you guys like kind of all come in and do it at once?
We basically do 10 months. We do 1 week for the next 10 months.
I see. Okay,
and we
do, all right.
Like it turns out to be something like that. And then we do, but we do a show in a day and a half. They won't let us do big jobs. And
right.
You know, like with us too, Will, we're all ad lib.
Yeah,
we just say what we got to say and we keep on going. But the bad part is because they won't let us do big jobs. You don't see a lot of stuff get finished.
Yeah, I hear
which really bugs the hell out of me. Because they think that nobody wants to see a big job being done. Where
I know all about.
Yeah, and that's the thing that just bugs me.
I handle all his social media, and that's probably 90% of the questions. What happened to this car? Did you finish this? So that's the big part.
Yeah,
I understand that. Yeah, we've just kind of had to make ours half character and half car because we can't. Same thing. You couldn't follow one car. It's a year and a half's worth of work, right? That's not one episode. That's 30 episodes. So you have to give them bits and pieces and kind of put it together like that.
And I get that.
I understand.
I get that. But at the end of the day, people still want to see the car when it's done. You know what I mean?
So you're starting them, but not getting to finish them.
Right. They'll get finished after I leave because Jared actually works for the production company. So he stays and he works on them every day, and then they get done. But when I was doing Muscle Car, we always had one big project, and it would take a year, but we would sprinkle in fillers. If we didn't have parts, I'd do a rear suspension, or I'd build a transmission, or I'd build a front end. That's how we did it. And what it did for us was it gave that guy who wanted to follow the build from beginning to end. We knew he was going to show up, but then we also always had new information going out, and it worked really well. But they don't want to do that here because the network, in their infinite wisdom, they want to be able to just stick a show wherever and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And that's where, in my opinion, we suffer, because the thing that we get and you probably get it too, because I know you drop a lot of knowledge. We get a lot of guys that say they watch our show because they feel they learned something.
Correct.
Because we're giving them information.
100%.
And that group of people, while it's smaller, will tune in every week to learn.
Sure, they're loyal.
Yeah, they're loyal to a fault, but I would rather have that.
Please, right?
You know, I mean, I would rather make a slow quarter than a fast nickel.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but they've got the network. Of course, they have so many. Their demographics so wide, right? You and I were real car nuts, and so I could sit there and spend all day talking about one transmission. I mean, there's a lot to it, right?
Right.
But that's going to only appeal to a niche group, and so we have to have that other stuff. I understand what the network's doing.
I do,
you know, that's
too,
probably
but I don't have to like it.
Like, I like that you're doing your show. You're on. I'm going to be watching your online one because it sounds like you're going to have a lot more latitude, right? You have a lot more time.
Yeah.
You can really delve into it. Make sure you hook up with our social, Alyssa and that, so we can help you get some audience out there.
Well, and it's going to be more teaching than anything else.
It's great.
It really is.
There's not enough of that.
Right, and that's my thing. And I've said this before on the show. I kind of thought when I was doing Muscle Car that I was reaching a different audience, because what happened with Muscle Car, me and Jared were like the two first legitimate car guys that they ever really had. They had some guys that were hobbyists, but this is all we ever did. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we had a Dynacorn Camaro and we had that Challenger that we did. And they didn't, you know, we're sitting there going, okay, what do we do? What do you want from us? And they didn't know. You know, the production company, RTM, they were like, well, just build the car. We'll figure it out. So we just started teaching. And what I noticed started happening was guys would come to me and they were all about, hey, I'm learning something. And then one day I was in the food line getting some chocolate chip cookies, of course. And this guy walks up to me and he's like, hey, you Lou Santiago? I'm like, yeah. He goes, man, I want to thank you. I'm like, what the hell you want to thank me for? You know what I mean? Like, well, why? And he tells me, you know, I'm 35 years old. My dad always took his car out to be serviced. I took my car out to be serviced. Watching your show gave me the confidence to buy a good set of jack stands and a good floor jack. And now I change my own oil. Right. And that's when it drove it home to me that every day somebody wakes up and wants to change the intake manifold on their car, and nobody's providing that.
If you watch the evolution of our show, it's exactly the same. It was, you know, we were kind of corny in the beginning, and when we would have a tech segment, that's the one that just blew up in social media.
Right.
That little 5 minutes of nerdery got so much more praise than all the rest. I thought, man, we have an obligation here. These guys are actually to learn something.
And that's it. And that's exactly like when we were doing we used to do those Muscle Car flashbacks on Muscle Car, and we were doing it was a 69 or 68 Charger, I don't remember, but it had the round marker lights.
Yeah,
and
68.
Okay. Well, I knew it was an 8 or a 9, but I didn't know for sure which one it was. And everybody's confused. I pick up my phone and I call my friend Wayne, who's a Mopar nut. I said, Wayne, which one has the round? And he's like, 68. Okay, done. And they're like, well, how do you know he's right? I'm like, because he's a fucking Mopar nut. I know he's right. It's not even a question. You know what I mean? He's the guy I call. And
that's what he was saying earlier. He knows a guy who knows a guy.
Right. Knows a guy. Yeah. But people appreciate that. But even today, you know, like I'll see people and they always come up to me like at SEMA or wherever, and they'll tell me, you know, I like CarFix because I learned something. I've had wives tell me, you're the only show that I watch because I feel like I can go out and build a transmission when I'm done.
Well, they're watching Graveyard.
Well, but still, you know what I mean? They don't have to tell me that. You know, they're looking at my tattoos, but
they're looking at that nipple. Show them that
nipple.
I
know. No. But
scratching his head.
But you know, you're right when you say that there is an obligation there. You know, because you know, going back to what I said, every day a kid wants to change the intake manifold on his car. I'm the only car guy in my family. Nobody else messes with cars. Wow. Yeah. So you know, I was on my own. I was learning from the older guys in my neighborhood how to tear stuff apart, put stuff back together. So you know, I feel that there's a huge obligation, and it's not being filled. So why not go after it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll be calling you for Mopar information when we've got them up.
Our industry has a big void. There's not a lot of young guns coming into our business.
No.
So we're going to have a real famine. We're already having it. I have a hard time finding young technicians, you're
Yeah.
having a hard time, and that's not going to get any better. So it could be that maybe while these trade schools are kind of drifting in and out, maybe it could be that, you know, filling those gaps. Maybe in a way we are.
Yeah. Well, we are because I'm taking this semester off. I teach part-time at Central Piedmont Community College, and I have the best kept secret. This class I do, it's called Restoration, $222, buys you 16 weeks. We have, we have 4 spray booths. We supply the big equipment. You supply the basic hand tools and your project and your parts.
Wow.
And we help you build your car. I've got guys doing full-blown frame-off restorations. I got a guy who's 71 years old who's never touched a car.
That's cool.
And
In your class?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
I got a guy who's in high school. I got people from high school to retired, and it's become so popular that we have 2 classes. And this is what we do now. There's a one in the afternoon till 5 in the evening. Then there's an hour off, and then you go from 6 to 10. Now you don't get credits, you don't get any kind of certificate. You just learn how to build whatever it is you got.
Absolutely. Great.
But what we do, there's 2 teachers in the class. What we do is, if you want to come in at 5 and work till 10 o'clock at night, you can come, because there's always somebody there. So we don't have to. So we just work it out where someone takes the dinner break. You know what I mean? We don't have to shut it down for a dinner break. Just come in, and we're turning people away.
Awesome.
When I got there 2 years ago, they were going to cancel it, and we've built it up, and we're turning people away now with this thing. It's so awesome.
Oh, I bet.
So, I mean, there's a huge demand for it. Huge demand.
You know,
I think it's great. That's great that you're able.
Disconnect
And that's so
is
affordable.
like,
Anybody could do it.
you know, like we
Ray,
do
what
out
are you
here-
saying?
I was going to say the disconnect that I see with that is what we do out here at the AutoZeum, the same thing, a teaching museum, teaching people how to work on cars, all ages, partner with BOCES. We've talked about that to death. But the trade schools seem to be getting the guys coming out, and everybody is a scanner Dan, or everybody just wants to do driver's seat diagnostics. I mean, I got to take that greasy part off. Oh, I don't want to do that. And that's what the trade schools are just kind of funneling them all to be, diagnosticians or computer technicians.
Yeah.
But the fact is, there's an underlying problem that supports that, and that is there's not the money in it. You know as well as I do. I mean, we're not getting $500,000 to restore a car, which is in real world probably what it would take if you were getting paid what a doctor got paid per hour. You're doing it for hardly any of that. So a guy comes in, entry level here's around $18 an hour. You get up to maybe 25, 30. Then they can go punch a computer and make 40 or 50 and never break a nail.
Yeah.
And we're competing with that. So
Yeah. But the problem is that there's those jobs, they're not having trouble filling them.
right.
You know what I mean? Everybody wants that job.
Absolutely.
There's too many people trying to get those jobs.
Correct.
But your plumber comes to your house and charges you $75 for a house call.
They just had it in the paper here in New York about a week or so ago how there was an official plumber's shortage. No fooling.
Official what?
Yeah.
A plumber's shortage. All the guys, the baby boomers of that age, we're all retiring.
Absolutely.
There's no one to take over,
I would
Well, before we go any further, Al wants to know if you do tours in your shop.
Right.
Mark.
Yeah, we do. Alyssa does them all summer long for sure. And I think they start like around May. So if they just called the office or sent in an email, they could let them know the times. So we do like 2 a day during the summer.
Cool.
So we get a lot of tourists, want to stop by. There's not much reason to do it this time of year, but we can. Yeah, just get hold of the shop here and we'll hook you up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I mean, I'm going to go to Oregon. I'll have to stop in.
Yeah.
Cause a scene.
You should. Yeah, absolutely. I'll find you that 66 crap box you're looking for. And yeah. Didn't be too tough to find that one.
Mark, I wonder if you could lay it out for us. You told us on the radio show at one point how you modeled yourself in the early years, what you were doing, for your character, so to speak, and that you've changed it over the years. And people always ask about that because they never get it. They never really understand what's going on. I think if you lay that out for people, it'll be a good service.
Yeah. You mean like now? Oh, sorry.
Hang it out.
Well,
So tomorrow, Mark. Do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
We got plenty of time.
you know what, Melonhead? You're in no position to say anything. Look at this. Like Uncle Tom.
Well, at least it's a nice shaped head.
Tom Partridge. Yeah, Tom Partridge. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I would not look good bald. Guarantee you that. Oh, God. I'd look like a mutant. Remember The Hills Have Eyes, that dude?
It was just on last week. Listen, it was just on last week, the 1977 version. It's rarely on cable, but I caught the end of it just about 4 days ago.
The original Hills?
Damn it, man.
The original.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's
1977.
Yeah, that's great
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I look like Jupiter with no hair. We have a baby for
That's
dinner.
awesome.
Yeah.
Correct. You know, when we had the idea for the show, there wasn't much on. Lou knows this. This goes back 10 years ago when I first kind of spawned the idea. I patterned a lot of our program after American Chopper. It was a successful run. And so, you know, we had the drama and the tension and the fighting. And, you know, it was about the second season where I was just saying to Lou a little bit ago where it seemed like we were getting a lot of pushback for that kind of stuff and saying more car work, more car work, more car work. And that's when I realized they were hungry to learn stuff. And so we began to change away from that. And of course, we had a tumultuous cast back then. We had Darren and Josh, her ex-husband. Thanks for bringing him in.
Thanks for bringing him up.
Anyway, tell him what his MySpace page said on it.
We're not going to talk about
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
We're not talking about that.
Okay,
We're not going to
anywho.
bring that up.
So now really we've got now I got to admit I'm very influenced by Ricky Gervais and The Office BBC. Obviously you can see that it is what it is. It's that kind of narcissistic guy, but he doesn't really believe any of it, that he's all that,
right?
But he plays like he does, and in some ways you feel kind of lonely for him. In other ways it's kind of funny. So that's a bit of kind of what I've almost become and can't stop. I find myself driving down the road going, yeah. And it's like, why am I doing this? It becomes a habit for you. But now I think what we've tried to do is really just be honest and transparent with everybody that works here and let them see their flaws, let them see their strong points, let the audience decide what they enjoy. I mean, there's still some entertainment in it. We definitely do. You want that. They'll say they want nothing but 60 minutes of nonstop wrench turning, but I believe that you'd tune out after a while and say, well, that's a little boring. You have to have some personality to carry it. And so what I think we kind of hit this last couple of years was a nice stride right in the middle of it. We got car work, we got some fun and some chicanery and that kind of thing.
Since I came back, you'd say?
It did. Yeah. It actually did help that Will came back because he knows my whole routine. The thing about these two is they've known me, Alyssa, her whole life, Will 22 years. So this whole thing that I'm doing, they're on it. So it's hard to get one over on them. They're ready to snap back like that.
Yeah.
So, and that plays that translates, I think, to our audience.
Mark, what do you think of the other shows that are out there? Lou's excluded because we know his show is fantastic. Everybody's got their favorites. Everybody's got their likes and dislikes. Do you catch up with the other shows on TV or don't you have time?
You know, I do. I watch my Velocity all the time. I watch it all the time, and they're honestly, this isn't a brown nose thing. They got a good lineup. They've got a lot of really fun shows on there. Now, for me, I love Ray Evernham. I think he's a brilliant dude, and the cars that he drags out, I mean, some of it just takes me back, and I love that kind of stuff. But, you know, all the other guys, they have great stuff. Wayne Carini's fun to watch. He's ice cold. Did he lose his bladder?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, Wayne's, like I say, I used to love Overhauling when that was on. That was a fun show to watch. Bitchin' Rides is fun. They're all talented guys. All these guys are talented anymore. We're in an arena with some of the best in their game. So you got to respect it, you know. On
the radio end of it, we hear a lot about Dan Short down at Phantom Works in Virginia. And you know, Will's laughing. I want to know why you're laughing. You know, it's.
No, I thought of something earlier today.
Okay, yeah, that joke before, right? Yeah, the joke the guy told me on the way in. I just remembered the punchline.
Right, it just hit me.
And I say, you know, I watched that show, and I say, hey, you know what? The shop is a real shop. It's not really. I don't even think it's really TV ready, but they film a show in it, and it just seems so. It seems very real. So
And
I
you know
think
what? I
it's-
think that really does relay well to the audience. That show does well.
Yeah.
He's got a winning little show right there. And if you like it or don't like it, I mean, people can do whatever they want, say whatever they want. But I think that he has a big audience. People enjoy watching his show for what he's producing, right? They watch Graveyard Carz maybe because obviously I'm a good dancer.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well,
there's that. I've been.
I thought it was your dashing good looks.
Well, I don't.
He's striking out both.
Why don't you try shutting up? Anyway,
Oh my.
looking good, Louis.
I'm going to show Lou
Lou
pictures. Huh?
Albano, put a rubber band in your cheek. That's a shame. I think Santa Claus. I don't know. See, we didn't have any props. I just got him.
Right, throw it back up. There you go. That's Lou's brother, Willie.
That's great. Look like a terrorist, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of like it looks kind of Arabic. I
love that, man. That looks great.
Yeah, well,
yeah. I don't know what we were talking about. I'm getting in trouble. I'm getting in trouble from my mom because I didn't come by tonight. I go by every single night. And I told her I have this podcast tonight. I'm outside the wheel now. Well, big deal. I gave her everything. I'm just getting it back.
Mark, is she feeling okay? We've been following you on Twitter. We know that your mom's going through some medical stuff, and we're all pulling for you. Prayers
Thank
all
you,
the time.
Ray. That's really nice. Yeah, she's in good spirits. So this week was her first week of radiation. She got 3 of them, I think, so far this week. And then today they put the chemo pump in. I learned a little about that.
Yeah.
And she's in good spirits.
That's
and
good.
I just put a picture up, or I just got a picture. I'm going to send up on our Twitter so you can see her. What was the little character Lily Tomlin played when she'd sit back in the chair with her little feet going like this? Mom's
Was it the operator?
Huh?
Was it the operator we were talking
No,
about?
I love the operator too. I can't remember. Anyway, she reminds me of that gal. She looks adorable. She's doing good. And, we're optimistic. We're praying hard. The oncologist feels like there's a good chance that if they can get it shrunk, they got a tumor in her colon is what she's got. Been there forever. Mom doesn't go to the doctor, right? So they're shrinking it down. If they can get it 2 or 3 millimeters, I think he said, or centimeters. I don't know. It's all metric stuff. Tell me 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/8. I understand that.
3/16.
3/16. So they're going to shrink that down a little bit, and then they'll cut it out, and she'll be okay. She won't have to have the colostomy bag and all that garbage. She'll be back to her old ornery self. So thanks for asking. She's doing good. I'll let her know.
Well, it's good that she has a son like you, because we've all been in that. A lot of us have been in that position, and that's when you pull together. That's when that's when it's a real family.
After all the lights go down, that's really what matters, right?
Yeah. And to do that with pulling the workload that you're doing too, with the you still have the regular body shop, right? You still have the normal shop?
Well, we don't do collision work anymore. It's all Mopar. But yeah, we have the full.
Okay.
It's a full body shop, frame shop, paint shop. But all we're doing is Mopar.
Speaking of that,
Restaurant.
and I got guys out here that are dying to check this place out. Tell us about the new used car dealership.
It's going to be a kick. So it's located on. It's located where it faces Interstate 5, the big run from all the way Canada to the Mexican border. It's I-5, Interstate 5. It faces right on it. So it's got, I think it's 200 and some thousand every 24 hours. Now, these aren't impulse buy cars that we're going to be putting there. But of all the places to have a 1970s dealership, it's going to be kind of cool to have it there. It'll get people talking. But what it is, it's about a 5,000 square foot. Used to be a boat dealership when it was built in 1970. It was built literally in 1970, and it's had nothing done to it since 1970. So
Whoa.
the stucco, the wood paneling, all of that's still in there. The little incandescent fluorescent lights, the big ones, not the new T8s, all that stuff is there. And so it's a great foundation for us to walk in and try to create
The 70s feel.
a perfect illusion of a 1970 dealership. In fact, the stuff I've been buying for the showroom, like the soda machine, a vending machine, I bought a 1969 Coca-Cola. Can't remember the number off the top of my head. Should. Anyway, it's the push button style that you would have saw in 1969 to 1972. It's not restored. It was an original clean machine. I want it to look like when you walk in there that in 1975, the dealership turned a key, locked it, and walked away. And now in 2018, I walked back in and unlocked. That's the look. That's the feel that I want, because it's going to be an experience on top of just becoming the place to buy a Mopar, whether it's a restored car, an unrestored original Survivor on the showroom floor, a project car you want to take and do, or pick one out of our lineup and we'll restore it for you. Whatever it is, it's part of the experience. It's going to Graveyard Motors, this 1970 dealership, right down to the salesman wearing polyester.
Oh, I was just about to say it. Like, you got to get the polyester on the salesman.
You remember American Graffiti? It all sing that, right?
Yeah.
Cherries, right? With the big rocking chair. I've got somebody put one of those together for me because I'm going to be sitting out there rocking on my big rocking chair on I-5 with my polyester outfit.
Mark, people have asked if those cars are going to be that you sell are cars that were going to be possible candidates for restoration that didn't quite make it, so they're going to be second string drivers, or where are you going to get the material from?
I'm just buying them all over the place. No, none of them are something that got passed on or anything like that. It's right. I run ads on our Facebook page that I'm looking for project cars, and when you get a lot, we've got 3 million followers, so you get a lot of stuff. But one out of about maybe 100 or so, I think was my ratio, was that car that fit the look. Like I don't want to in 100 pieces. It doesn't do me any good. I already got a parking lot full like that. I want the 68 Coronet RT that the old man's had his whole life, and it's been in the garage. Pay him a fair price for it. Bring it in, and it will look on the car lot like, again, the outside of the place has to look like 1970, right? So what kind of cars were sitting there in 1970? 2, 3, 4-year-old Mopars that are polished and detailed, armor all the tires, the whole thing. But no, they're not like rejects or something that didn't make the show. And anybody that bought a car from Graveyard Motors, we'd always have the option of having us restore it, at which point it would probably make it on the show.
66 dots would be on that lot, yeah.
Hey, Mark, Jim wants to know when you're when the car lot's supposed to open. He's on Facebook.
So in reality, it was going to be in the spring, but I think we're going to be around June or July before we have it revamped. We're still closing on it. So we don't even have keys yet. So I would say probably in that range. I think we've got to we got to paint the outside of the building, do the blacktop, do some plumbing stuff on it. And then I've got to build some elevated ramps like you would have had back in the 70s where the car goes up on the ramp and turns around. So I got some stuff to build, but tell them probably June.
We saw a lot of cool bikes in that place. It's going to be a chopper in the works for you? Because you got to in the 70s, man, you got to have a chopper.
It's a chopper, baby.
It's a chopper,
the building,
that's right.
The guy we're buying
motorcycle, it's a chopper.
So those are just inventory in there. No, I'm not a chopper guy.
Okay. Didn't think so.
I got a couple mini bikes that I'm going to put over there, though.
Not surprised.
That's cool.
Yeah.
A 1972 Kawasaki Parnelli Jones edition 70cc. Do you remember those?
Wow.
Adorable. It was at a Parnelli Jones actual mini. I bought a beautiful original one. I mean, it's got some patina on it, but it's pretty original. And then I got a little 50cc trail hopper Honda, and just kind of things to have there for looks, really, more than anything.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
That's cool. Yeah, because of all the place.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you're not going into my heist again. You threw me under the bus. Yeah, you did.
Who would throw you under a bus?
A little back sniping back there.
Yeah. I think
she wants to ride the mini bike, so I told her tomorrow morning when she comes in before he gets here, we'll fire it up and take it out.
Yeah,
there you go.
Well, who's going to go?
Hey.
Well, now wait a minute. If I'm correct, Alyssa drives a Slingo, right? The car mover. That thing is pretty cool.
The Stringo.
The Stringo.
Yeah, it's electric. You push a button. They can't kickstart a 50cc.
I grew up on a kickstart.
Cousin Dougie got it ready for us.
If Cousin Dougie can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Hey, I seen a black cat go by the window behind you, so watch it.
Yeah, Cousin Dougie. You had Cousin Dougie on the show last night building that 340 without using torque specs. I wanted to reach through and say, "Hey, Dougie, come on."
Cousin Dougie ain't all there, man. That elevator is not hitting on all the floors.
He's got a cool mustache.
Hey, Mark, I think we got someone looking at Alyssa here. Chris wants to know if she's remarried yet. I think we might have a future suitor.
Hey, we get a cut. We get a cut on that.
Now, you're not remarried, right?
No,
Okay. Are you going to get married?
I hope.
Oh, that was
Okay.
Alyssa.
That's brilliant.
Such confidence, Alyssa.
Right.
Such confidence.
I don't know. I haven't thought about it lately.
So are you on the
I'm just
market or
trying to
aren't you? That's all
build
he's trying to find out.
cars.
Are you on the market?
That's what he's trying to figure out. He's trying to figure out if you're on the market.
I'm not on the market.
Not on the
Maybe
market. Sorry,
I
Christopher.
am.
We tried. We tried, Christopher. But
Right.
Todd wants to know if you're going to have any cool 70s vans on the.
I
you
have
gotta have
bought
a van.
one so far, and I'm looking every day at them. I love them. Absolutely love the
Awesome.
72 to 76 street vans with
They
the
are
flare
coming back.
and the visor.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Sorry.
I've
They're
got one
coming
that'll
back
be up
pretty
here in
strong.
a couple weeks. Absolutely.
That's
Those
awesome.
got to be on the car lot, right? They got it.
Oh, yeah.
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 Love
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome. You know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to wedge chop one of them. Because every now and then, you see one where it was
Yeah.
wedge chopped.
where the
you know,
front's
you
lower
got-
than the back. Yeah.
Yeah. You just leave the back stock height and then wedge it. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the bubble
Remember,
window, the bubble window in it.
Ray, you remember
love it.
Janoff's in
Absolutely.
Hempstead?
Oh yeah, yeah.
They had that. I think it was a Chevy. It was yellow, and they had it wedge. They had it wedge
Nice,
chopped.
nice.
Remember that?
Get a
That
little
was
sticker
cool.
on the back that says, "If this van's rocking, don't bother knocking."
You know,
Yeah,
like we've talked
yeah.
about. There's been a
It's
big
the 70s, man.
resurgence in vans out here in the cruise nights.
Mhm.
The one-
that's
the big one that I go to. Oh, yeah, there were like maybe 3 or 4 of them. One about 2-3 years ago.
Careful.
Now they got about 12 to 14, and these things are all restored right out of the 1970s.
God, I love it.
So
I
awesome.
absolutely love it. Krager 5 spokes on them.
Yeah.
Big flares. I love it. That's
Appliance
awesome.
wheels, of course,
That's
hooker
awesome.
headers, wheel flares, CB
sir.
or KC hijacker, lights, the whole bit. Yeah, and they do the
Making it back
insides too.
around, guys.
And people thought it would never come back, but they're doing the insides too, the same way with the shag and the,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The shag
stereos.
and the mirrors. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cocaine.
I had a friend,
Gas and grass. Nobody rides for free.
I had that sticker on my side window. My neighbor asked me to kindly remove it because his kids would be offended, so I did.
Are you kidding
No,
me?
I'm not.
His
And
kids are on the
I
way
did.
to prison.
Did-
There's
I
no-
hope you didn't take it.
Nah,
off.
at the time
I
it
hope
was-
you didn't take it
I
off.
did. But what I was going to say, what was I going to say? I'm going to say something about that. Oh, I had a friend back in '76. I was working at the auto parts store, and he rolls in. He had a '73 Firebird, a Formula, nice car, and he was always doing the thing of the week. He wasn't a real
Right,
heavy mechanic, but he played around. And I went out. He said, "You got to see Gio's car." I'm like, "Why?" He took the passenger seat and the rear seat out and put a waterbed in the right side of the Firebird
Yep.
because he didn't have a van. I was like,
What?
yeah,
That's a butt machine, man.
It's a
yeah,
That's a butt machine right there.
unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
When I was at the dealership back in '83, Lincoln Mercury dealership, a guy came in with a great big old 1-ton Chevy dually. And him and Mama toured all over the country in this crap box, and came in because it needed a clutch. I said, "We're a Mercury garage. Well, it needs a clutch, and it needs one now." So I quote him to put a clutch in it and get the job. And it turns out that on the passenger seat, which is a normal seat, it would slide to the side, and it had a shitter. It had a poo-poo, a toilet underneath it.
Yeah.
That toilet went into a hole. Yeah. Well, it had a holding tank, and we had to drop like 40 gallons of duty out of this holding tank to get it out of the way so that we could put a clutch in it.
Oh my God,
Wow.
Yeah.
that's disgusting.
Damn it, man.
Here's my high school driver.
Woohoo!
Damn it, man.
Don't mind the curl.
It looks a little stock to me.
That's
That was my break
It
dance
was in
gear.
high school. He had no money.
well, Will wouldn't know about that. He's a spooner.
You know
He's
what?
had everything handed to him. So
My dad worked hard.
yeah.
Yeah, well, my dad,
Oh
my
my
mother and
God.
father are still alive. My dad's 70 years old,
She falls for
still
such-
works, and they provided well for me. Big deal.
Second Christmas, he got a Yamaha Zinger motorcycle.
It wasn't my
2
second-
years old.
It was my 5th.
It doesn't matter. I never had one.
Hater, right? Hater.
Look at his pictures. This
Okay, so Eric on Facebook says he loves you guys and he wants to know when he wants to get a job with you, Mark, because he loves
They don't
Mopars.
say that.
And Don Nielsen said he wants to see a 72 Little Red Express.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd like to see a 72 Little Red Express too, except they never.
Right.
A 78 would be nice.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just reading them.
78 would be realistic. 72 would be nice.
72 would be great.
Yeah.
You tell him if he's actually if he's a technician to give us a call or turn in his resume. We're always looking for good talent. Absolutely, always.
Well, by God, I'm just going to tell him right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still on there, but I'm going to reply to him right now
because we're live on.
I'm just going to reply to him anyway.
Yes, sir.
Boy, the fun police up there in the corner. Look at that. Can't he have a little fun? Luke can't have a little fun. He's having a lot of fun.
Fernando wants to know if you're putting out DVDs for the new season or the newer seasons.
Man, we're sure trying. It's just one of those things that can always be on the back burner. We did season 1 because we had nothing else going. We'd made a season, 6 episodes, and couldn't sell it anywhere. I'd end up giving it away. Anyway,
wow.
We had plenty of time to make DVDs that year, but since then it's been moving. Yes, we want to. Yes, we will. I assure you. But it's still probably gonna be a while before we have those coming out.
All right.
Probably be off the air by the time they come out.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Matthew. Matthew's the man.
So tell me about what's new with the coffee bar over at the shop. We just got this new Ninja coffee bar at the house here, and it's like you can do all sorts of crazy crap with this thing. And I think about you guys. You got the iced coffee going. You got the all sorts of crazy lattes, and there you go.
Good. I already finished mine. Mine's all gone now.
Coffee. Mine's gone too.
I switched from gin and tonic to green tea, actually.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
You got water.
It's down there. We usually have 1 or 2. I usually have 1 or 2 espressos a day. Mine are just those Bondo lattes they were talking about, where you just put some of that non-dairy creamer, the flammable stuff.
The Bondo.
I put some of that in my coffee, and that's about it. But Alice over here likes the little funny drinks.
I was just going to comment on that. I was
waiting
for you to stop talking, and I was going to. Sorry, I was going to have to say something.
It's a mocha.
It's a mocha, yeah.
You know what? Okay. Who puts a theater inside the restoration shop?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Who would?
Hey.
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
If you could,
put the mocha okay.
You're going to be walking down the streets of Springfield and somebody's going to pull a knife on you. You're going to have every reason.
I don't walk down the streets of Springfield.
You'll get stabbed carrying that.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree. That's why I don't.
There's nothing wrong. There's no stabbing going on over here. I got a Bondo latte. I'll throw it on them, set them on fire, do a Richard Pryor on their ass.
See, I drink Cafe Bustelo.
Excuse me.
It's espresso. It's espresso. It's Cafe Bustelo. That's the name.
Now hold it like a man. What are you doing?
His pinky's out.
Yeah.
That's what I drink.
Yeah.
No hair.
I mean, in real cups. We drink espresso and we don't do the little cups.
Did they start putting an X in espresso? I thought it was still ESPRESS.
Espresso.
It's
Yeah, you know, it's the New Yorker. Hey, fuck you.
Right. Yeah.
It's hot in here. It's burning hot. Open the window, Mary. Yeah, open the window.
No, dear
God. Air.
Oh, nice.
It's like 1,000 degrees in here.
What's the
it's
temps
5
out there?
degrees. It's 5 degrees here in Ohio, so quit whining.
I'm sorry. I do know it's cold back there. Yeah.
We're checking in about 13 tonight, I think, out here. We're out snow blowing all freaking day. It's
You poor guys. God.
Yeah, it's not good.
Where are you at right now, Lou?
I'm in North Carolina.
Is it cold? Or
It was 26, but this weekend it'll be in the 50s. They said it'll be like 54.
Heat wave.
The winter here doesn't stay long. It's
I
awesome.
see. Okay.
John Day is
Awesome.
John Day is minus 30 in Canada.
Woo!
Yeah. Well, you know, it's Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I have a couple clients.
Todd's saying it's minus 7 in Minnesota. See, it's just cold there. Why?
Yeah.
Why go? What the hell? Why?
It gets down to like 35 here.
Boy, look at those temperatures. 11 degrees, Tori says. John Day.
Yeah.
Actually, we have a John Day town here, but John Day says it's minus 30. Where's he at?
He's in Canada.
He's in Canada. He's up in Canada.
Oh.
Yeah.
This end of Canada, not your end of
I
Canadian.
think he's up in Ontario. I think it's Ontario.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I live in Kannapolis, North Carolina. That's where I'm at.
Oh, yeah, I think someone said
Or as I like to call it, Canapolis, right outside of Charlotte.
So, Mark, are you guys doing any? Do you travel and do any shows?
Does he travel?
Or should I ask Alyssa? Do you travel and do
Apparently,
autographs?
I'm an idiot, so go ahead and ask them.
No, he won't fly anywhere. You know, when we do SEMA, he drives it. We have a not doing it. You know, we have a show coming up in April in Vegas, and he'll drive it. And it's just a weekend show, so we'll fly down and he'll drive
It's
down.
like an hour flight. For
He
us.
keeps us pretty well on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Anywhere he can drive.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, Will. I stopped flying a few years ago because I kept getting blood clots in my lungs. So I drive everywhere now.
What you gonna do now, Alice? You want to laugh at
That's
Lou?
I drive.
That's legit. Yeah. Well, I don't
No,
want
I
to.
haven't. Why?
Yeah.
But
the song?
I drove to SEMA I've been driving to SEMA for like the last 8,
But it's a
10
health
years.
condition concern, so I get it.
Yeah, it's a health condition. Well,
I mean, I get self-medicated.
I don't want to die. You know what? Everybody knows the song "Bye Bye American Pie," right? The day the music died.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be Richie Valens on your ass. Ain't nobody crying around me saying we went too soon. No, my ass will be out there long after it should be. I think I know that motherfucker die. Good. Kiss my ass.
I was thinking Country Joe and the Fish myself.
Country Joe and the Fish.
Look at
Stevie
you
Ray
on
Vaughan.
the fixing the
Stevie Ray
diarrhea.
Vaughan.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah,
Fly.
that's
I
why
drive
I
everywhere.
don't fly
So
anymore.
you drive out from
Yeah.
North Carolina?
Mhm.
Cool. Good for you, man.
How long does it
Yeah,
take
man.
you?
Couple
It's
days.
36 hours.
Dang.
So you do it over like 3 days, maybe, or 4?
Yeah, my what I do is I leave North Carolina, and the first night I try to spend it in Oklahoma City. I run hard the first day.
Yeah.
Because then that puts me in Gallup, New Mexico to Flagstaff, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And then it's just, you know, it's like 4 hours to get into Vegas. You know, I run hard, and then the third day I take it easy. But the last couple of years I drove out of Tampa because we shot the show, and then I got in the car and drove.
Geez, that's a long one, huh?
It's actually not. It's the same amount of time.
Oh.
Same amount of time.
Mine's 14
So what I
hour
do-
drive from Oregon to
You do it in 2 days.
I've done it. in
Yeah,
a
see,
day.
that's not
I've done it in
On
a
the way
day.
there.
Yeah.
2 days on the way back.
Yeah. But it's not bad. Like coming out of Tampa, what I do is I leave as soon as we get done shooting. So I'll leave at like 5:00, get to the border of Florida, Alabama. Then I go to Gulfport because, you know, I'm a retired Seabee. So I go see a bunch of my friends in Gulfport, hang out there for a couple hours. And then that day I get to Dallas, Texas.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm in Amarillo, the second morning running across 40. And it's easy. Once you get on 40, man, you just run all the way to Kingman, Arizona and make a right.
Yeah.
So it's easy. But I don't mind doing it. I enjoy
I
driving.
enjoy driving. It doesn't bother me a bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do it in a
I'm actually going to build a big rig on my show so I have something to make money with when I make these trips. Seriously.
Hey, smart guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm thinking I'm probably going to do a cab over because I love cab.
COE.
Yeah.
Cabo
Do a
Marine.
K100.
That stands for, Mary.
Yeah.
Will,
Whatever.
learn to enunciate.
Okay. I'm sorry. Mary.
Language lessons tonight. Wow.
Yeah, taking shots at the kid, you know, taking shots at the ice tray. The
I
ice
don't ever take shots at you unless they're deserved. And why are you looking at my hair?
Well, I'm not looking.
You
at
look
the
at my hair. You
I'm
wanna-
looking at the lack of hair at the front.
Oh, put your head down.
That's
Look how thin that is.
It's not thin.
Yeah, it is.
That's a racing stripe, man.
Yeah,
A little thin.
a little.
Yeah.
Will, my daughter had commented how on earlier seasons your hair was very, very short.
So I
Just let himself go.
And she thinks you look a lot better with long hair.
over the 22 years, we've taken some time apart. And before I came back, I had spent like 4 years. I was a manager of a doctor's office. So
Okay.
I was just thinking of something I saw on
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live.
that's what I had done. When I worked at the doctor's office, I kept my hair short. So then, as soon as I left that job, I just quit cutting it.
Hey, you're lucky
Manager of a doctor's office. Let's dive into that just a little
Go
bit
right on
because it
ahead.
sounds pretty impressive.
It is.
But
what
my
it is.
understanding was you had a room full of gals,
45.
Huh?
45.
45 women,
Mhm.
45 women in a room.
Not
All right.
in a room.
And you were I don't believe that. You
don't believe what? Ask your
I don't
question.
believe that. I don't believe that you were in this manager over this big doctor's office. I mean, people's
no.
lives count on.
No, there was 3 different managers there between the 45 different people.
Okay. So you were one of the 3 managers. Okay. Would you say you were the senior manager?
I like
or-
the fact that it was 45 women.
I went there.
I know why Will had the job already. I know why Will took that job. I mean, come on, it's pretty damn obvious.
I still want to know why he cut his hair.
Why don't we have?
Lou left it. I don't know where
Just
Louis
hear
is.
him.
Lou,
He
we
might have
can't
lost
see
it.
you, buddy.
Who he might have lost his signal because it is cold there in Cleveland.
You can't see me?
No, you went away.
I got you.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
Lou, you're gone.
I'm gone.
The screen did this weird flip thing about 2 minutes ago, where it just like you kind of changed positions, but you came back on this end. So
Oh, and
Can
then
you see Lou now?
all of you.
Tori has you too,
Oh,
and Mike can see Mark and Lewis. Al says everybody's there. Tori, for a change, has no problems, and he's not on the screen, unfortunately. Sorry, Tori. And Chris can see us all. So why'd you cut your hair, Will? What was
when
it?
I was in the doctor's office, I used to keep it all. I kept it all short, nice and clean.
How long is this thing?
And then when I came back here, I just quit cutting it. So it's been almost a little over 3 years now. What are you doing?
I don't blame you.
Can you guys see Lou?
Nah.
I can see me, and I can see everybody.
Lou, I'm going to drop you out, and I'm going to bring you back in.
Okay.
All right. Psych.
Now, sorry, that was the ejection button, the ejection seat. Now, Mike says he can only see me. Oh boy!
All right, here he
Seems
comes.
to be
Todd
witching.
says he's got everybody.
Yeah, Vince had everybody too. All right. Well, we'll run with it. What are we gonna do?
Oh, you know what? Being at Vince, did you ever call Gary? That's my question to Vince.
He's listening, but
Still here.
he's
I thought he was
I can
listening.
ask him.
I just heard Benson. You.
Who are you talking to, Lou? I'm sorry.
I was one of the guys I know, Vince. He's
in the chat room.
Yeah, he's in the chat room. He's an over the road trucker, and I told him I know a broker that he needed to call.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I asked him if he called him. That's all I
Apparently,
asked
the
him.
name Vince is funny to Will over here, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh no, he has his cousin named Vince. And the stories go so far back. So when I hear that name, I remember
they
being
do.
a kid listening to these. Yeah, tell me about Vince.
Yeah, in this show, it's like it's a little diversion to personal business. We do that sometimes. We just gotta take care of stuff. We just phone numbers and things. Mark, we're seeing through the show that your family does definitely run kind of deep with the cousins and the associates. I wasn't laughing. I was just asking.
Something earlier.
Something on your mind, buddy? Yeah, we got family out here. Our tree goes straight up. That weird stuff going on out here. Ain't not my family.
Speaking of family and extended family, people are always asking about Royal. He seems to be he's a
Royal
big
was here
favorite.
today.
Okay.
Royal's so busy.
He's a carpenter, right? He's a finished carpenter?
He's a carpenter. Yeah, finished carpenter for the school district.
Okay.
He's a good old boy, a half-wit. He changes locks for the school district.
Right.
But he stays busy. And but he's so busy he hasn't really got time to come over. He says 2 jobs is plenty for him. Because he also sets up they have a auditorium over there, and he sets up for all the different plays and stuff in the evening. So he is a busy guy. He is a busy guy. Yeah. He smokes marijuana.
That's good. He just seems like one of those guys that you.
Lou, were you just smelling your fingers, dude?
We're live.
I got an itch.
On your tooth?
I got an itch, so I scratched it. I was busy. I was typing. I was answering a question. I went like that. That's all I did.
I was going to say, Royal seems like one of those guys you could sit down with, have a beer with, and just hang out on the deck and just be very comfortable with.
That's Royal. Yeah, he's
that
everybody's buddy. He's a good guy.
One of my favorite pictures is one of you and him on a couch, probably in 1978. I thought that was
exactly right.
That's a
I
good
bet it
picture.
was 19. That was my mom's couch. You see the Afghan in that picture? Mom knitted that Afghan.
We have Afghans all over the place still. Yeah,
we
for my
couldn't
mom
buy
and sister.
Afghans and brand new motorcycles when we were kids. We had to knit it if we wanted it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
about
we have knitted
the
ones
survival.
too. Yeah. There's another dying art.
What,
Huh?
knitting?
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Knitting?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. My mom, my sister, and my niece, they all they crocheted. They were all crocheted, the Afghans.
Yeah. You crochet, right, Mary?
No, I paint your cars. Still.
It's okay if you crochet, Will. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say.
It's all right.
What do you-
It's all right, really. If you
Yeah.
own it.
He used to sell Girl Scout cookies.
Own it.
There's nothing wrong
Make
with
it
that.
yours.
He sold
Make it
more
yours.
cookies than all the other girls in the pack.
See, even me and Papa's Girl say there's no shame in this crowd.
Imagine 45 women. That's a Girl Scout cookie among 45 women, right?
Right, exactly. Right?
They ate some cookies.
I told you this was a laid back platform.
It's pretty loose.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Sometimes it gets so loose there's no axis. It's just kind of like
Cool.
We wanted to put this platform together to bring people together and share the car industry or the automotive industry. And what's happening is we'll meet people in the chat room and they know somebody that we might need to get in touch with or somebody on the show. So it goes back and forth. It's pretty slick how it's turning out.
Yeah, nice. You guys getting a good following?
Yeah, yep.
It's building up slowly.
We had a couple issues with the platform. We had to switch platforms, so that kind of put us back a little bit. But this year we're going all out. So we're gonna.
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
do some
I'd love to
things.
do something like that for us. It's just so hard to get time. It takes a lot to set it up and do it. Even if it's a 20 or 30-minute podcast, it's just a lot of work to make it work.
Right,
You
right.
guys, congratulations.
Well, Mark, the beauty thing with this is everybody comes to see Lou. And it's just like we get to sit back and hear him answer questions about chassis and welding and stuff. And it's, when you have that kind of a database in your head, much like you do, you're just going to get questions nonstop.
100 gigabytes.
Hey, they come to see me too. I'm kind of sexy,
You're a good looking man. You're a good looking man. I was telling him that earlier when the microphone was off. Like,
So sexy.
hell yeah. Will's
Kind of what?
You getting overtime, Will, for this?
Hey, well, tell him.
Tell him what?
Tell him.
Tell him
Tell
what?
us. Tell us. Just tell us.
I got a wife and 6 kids.
Nobody said you did, man.
You almost got your baseball team. Keep working at it.
Baseball's not a real
So it is. That's what I hope my kids. I have a boy who goes
salary
into.
cap. You have
salary,
girls.
no salary cap
You
in
have
baseball.
girls.
That's what you want to go
You have
into.
girls.
I do a good
But
James
while I
Gum.
get hurt,
Was she a big old fat girl?
yeah, no. You're getting weird. You might no.
Oh no, officer, you can come in if you want to. I have a permit for that gun.
That's the most ridiculous scene in any movie. She walks up the door. Yeah, does so and so live here?
No. Wait. Let's see. What was her name? Is she a big girl? Yeah, no, she never lived here.
You liar! Of course she lived here. How would you know how to describe her?
Get the fucking lotion on.
All right. How long does this thing go on? I got a life.
You can leave now if you want.
Actually, we're a half hour
We're over now. Yeah, we're half
Son
hour.
of a gun. My wife's divorcing me. My mother wants nothing to do with me because I've been here half an hour over.
Well, go away.
You guys have no
You ain't gonna
life?
stay. Say goodbye.
Ooh.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Put your glasses on.
Lou, why don't you come out and we'll just kind of hang out? I got a special place.
Oh my god.
We'll put the lotion on your head. We'll do it whenever I say.
You know what I'm talking about, Lou? Oh, look at that shot. Lost a
Mike
little weight.
just said Elvis leaving the building.
I can't get out.
There's a window.
What are you doing?
Yeah, he's
Well,
stuck.
they're
Climb
gonna
out
be
the
gone.
window.
They don't
Climb
want
out the
to
window.
life.
I we have a life.
Climb out the window. Just go out the window.
No, that would not turn out well. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much. I am going to jam out.
Leaving.
All right. It was great seeing you, Mark. Good talking to you.
You too.
All right.
Thanks for coming on. We appreciate
Bye,
it.
Alyssa.
Alyssa,
Will.
thanks for coming in.
Just get out of my way. Emotional bitch.
Is he going to leave his camera on? Oh, no. Okay. Good.
I got it. Okay, people on the Facebook Live and in the chat room, we appreciate everybody coming out and sharing it and getting a good crowd. We got a pretty good crowd tonight.
High watermark 47.
Yep, 47, and Facebook is a whole bunch more.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
thank you.
I was answering people on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd like to
Yeah.
thank everybody and tell everybody that we do this every Thursday night at 9:00 Eastern time. And
Yep.
we're going to get a whole bunch of new guests on. I got a big list of guests, so we'll be having more people on.
Cool. All right, Ray, say goodnight.
Ray Guarino, Motormouth Radio in the frozen East Coast. Catch you next week, guys.
Lou Santiago, Carfix, Playing in Traffic. We'll see you guys next week.
Lewis Lee, All Ins Magazine, Playing in Traffic. Peace.
All right.